Shalom Makim. Now this is the Brother Magan back from GMS Chicago camp with another daily edification. Now first and foremost, I'm going to see Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the true, holy, powerful name, who the one that calls God Jehovah. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, powerful name, of the one that calls Jesus Christ. Now secondly, I'm going to see the editors in the Apostle Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful like of Israel. Love when I'm part of that number. Alright, so I'm just back at it with just a quick lesson for today, and I'm gonna just title it "The Promises," or the Slakia, just the promises that the Lord has in store for us. And what I mean by that is just a covenant is more or less just a promise that that the Lord will keep. And so one of the major covenants that the Lord will keep is one of the most is writing the laws into our hearts. And so I'm just gonna go and grab a couple of precepts that touch on that. All right, so the first one is Hebrews chapter 10 verse 16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days. So this is talking about after everything is said and done, after we transition into the new kingdom, which will last forever. Saith Yahweh, I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. So that means we will never forget the laws of the Lord. We will always remember them because they're gonna be written in our heart or in our mind, because the heart goes back to the Hebrew word la'ab, which means your mind. All right, so the next precept is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 33 to 34. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward hearts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. All right, so the Lord is establishing us as His people after all these days, and not just the 1/3, but also the 2/3 will become His people once again, because they will also get the laws. All right, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will give their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Man, so this goes into the Lord. This goes into the Lord basically forgiving us, but not forgiving us entirely, out of all the things that we have done. Forgiving us entirely, man. And I can't wait for this moment, because we won't, man. That means nobody needs to teach they fellow Israelites no more. Nobody needs to teach they fellow Israelites no more. Everybody will know the laws, such as commandments of the Lord. And this is one of the promises we have in store. That means no more going off for us. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8 to 12. Finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So this means a new promise, something new, something never before seen. Verse 9, nothing according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. So this tells us that we've forgotten the Lord, one of the covenant about or the promise that the Lord did after He took us out of the land of Egypt. So like, yeah. Verse 10, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. Slakia Yahweh. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest, for I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and iniquities, what I remember no more. So just as I said, man, the Lord will fully forgive us for all the wickedness and all the sinful acts that we have committed in the past. And I can't, as I said before, I can't wait for this moment, because That means we don't have to worry about what was done, man. We don't have to worry about all the sins that we have committed. Because once we get to this point, we don't need to worry. We don't need to you know, become stay cautious about not breaking this law or that law because we gonna already know what is required of us. Man, that's how powerful that this one will be for. All right. Romans chapter 11, verse 26, for this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. Man, basically, this is just telling us more that, like, Lord will take away all the sins that we have committed. Now, of course, we still got to go through some things before we get to this point. We're going to still have to go through, we still going through afflictions and stuff. But, man, we got to remain focused, man. All the promises, well, specifically this one, all the promises will come eventually, man, because the Lord do not lie do not lie about his promises. All right, but with that, I want to say shalom and a bar.